Hello and welcome to I Hate Kink Shame. My name is Levi Thomas. I hate card games. I told you guys this channel wasn't dead, only mostly dead, and I thought it fitting that we enter a mostly dead format in Standard today with the deck that I'm calling Temur Omnexus. So the main conceit behind this deck is that it is a ramp deck that allows us to play things like Omniscience and Overflowing Insight to then draw a bunch of cards in our deck and refill and replay a bunch of stuff. However, the end goal of this deck is actually a somewhat infinite combo. Once you get an Omniscience on the board, which you can either do by getting to 10 mana and casting an Apex of Power, hitting Omniscience and just casting it, or you can just straight up cast Omniscience. Once you have an Omniscience down, you can then play Overflowing Insight for free, which draws you 7 cards. What you then do is you can play your Nexus of Fates for free. They reshuffle themselves into the deck. You continue to just draw a lot of cards, play everything, until you basically filter your deck down to just to the 2 Nexi of Fate, and you get a Tezzeret down, and then you just plus the Tezzeret, make a token, Nexus of Fate. It shuffles itself back in the deck, and you just alternate the 2 Nexus of Fates until you have enough 1/1 flying artifact tokens off of this Tezzeret to win the game. As for the sideboard, we are looking at a couple Spell Pierce, Disdainful Stroke, Negate. This is mainly the control package here, including Nezahal. Then you have 2 Sleep, 4 Fiery Cannonade, a Palaka Worm, which can come in place of one of the River's Rebukes or in place of Nezahal against aggro decks. It just buys you a lot of time. And then Silent Gravestone against a number of graveyardy things. And so best case scenario, we just become so immensely powerful that our opponent just has to watch us play a children's card game for a number of minutes. Worst case scenario, we just get beat to shit by Phoenixes and Drakes and other better threats than the vast majority of the cards in our deck. Anyways, let's get to the games. We're probably playing against Is It Drakes or something along those lines. We're hoping he taps out for a Drake this turn so that we can just slam a Gilded Lotus, and that's exactly what he does. He's the scariest 0/4s I've ever seen in my entire life. Ooh, we might actually go off here. This has gone about as nicely as I could have hoped for. This is turn 5, by the way. This is about how we drew it up. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite enough. Well, that's all we got for that turn. As you can see, this is why I said that the deck is not fully infinite, or why I was hesitant to say the deck was infinite. Just an Arclight Phoenix. That's not very scary. Okay, we still might pull out the win here. We just need to draw something. Apex of Power or another Overflowing Insight would be good. Pretty much any of those things. Any of that ilk. Probably should not have cracked the treasures to cast, not all of the treasures rather, just in case I needed to draw. Slight misplay there. Grow from the Ashes. Guess we have to just try and cast this Tezzeret and draw something. That's unfortunate. We drew just about every land in the deck. You see how this deck can win. I feel like, honestly, I probably should just be playing this deck on Magic Arena, seeing as how MTGO is just going to become an artifact. And I don't mean like the card game artifact, I mean like an ancient defunct thing that, you know, nobody uses, except for combo players, I guess. Honestly, not much has been up since the last time that I talked to you guys. Like, I really didn't do anything interesting. I joined a cult, I guess. There's a lot of things people don't tell you when you join a cult. Like, hey, don't join a cult. Historically, they don't end very well. I've got a bad feeling about this. Ow, that hurts. I'm just conceding. This guy can have it. But don't worry, it's like a fun cult. It's not like the we should all kill ourselves type of cult. It's like, you know, like the type of cult that buys sick basketball shoes, hangs out together, has a good relationship across Venmo, that kind of cult. General rule is if it has lands and a treasure map, you can just keep it. Alright, looks like mono blue tempo maybe. I think we probably have to try Circuitous Route here. It's the only way we're going to get there fast enough. I assure you, I'll keep playing until this deck goes off on somebody. I just barely clicked the keep button and I'm already regretting it. I don't know why I did that. They announced recently that they're taking Friends off of Netflix, and I actually have Friends fan theory. So that theory is that the fans of Friends don't have good taste in television shows. I know I'm sort of jumping on the bandwagon with that, but did anyone really actually like enjoy that show? Thank you, Netflix. Ay caramba. Alright, you win. Alright, I can only lose 5 more times, and then I'm out of tickets. Looks like we're playing against another Drake or Phoenix deck. This might be actually Jeskai Control. This is a real card that people play now. 2 mana, draw a card, gain 3 life. Instant. Sure. Apex of Power. Do we have enough for that? No, we don't have enough red. Shit. Overflowing ourselves. Well, if our opponent doesn't have a counter spell again, or if they fully tap out again, then we get to cast this Apex of Power and maybe kill them. Big Teferi. We might get to do it, actually. Oh shit, we just straight drew Omniscience. Well, that's better just because it's better. It's better because now it's much easier for us. Oh my god, it stuck. Holy shit, guys. I take back everything I said about this deck. It's the best deck in the world. Holy shit, look at this. Get to cast that for free, get to cast that for free, get to cast that for free. We're going to Apex of Power with Omniscience. We're going to put blue in our mana pool. We're going to cast this next... Oh shit, the Tezzeret. Oh, we have enough to cast it either way. Okay, so we get to cast Tezzeret off the blue. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card off this Tezzeret. Opponent is tanking. I hope they don't concede. I really do. I want them to see what happens. I want our opponent to step to me. I want him to see what happens when you step to this deck. You know what I mean? You feel me, dog? Oh my god, he's letting it go. Alright, so we're going to draw cards. Give me 3 of them. 2 of them. Never mind, it's not 3. I'm getting ahead of myself. Give me 2 more cards. Also, just a key factor here. Oh my god, that's so good. I don't want to do that though, because he might scoop to a River's Rebuke. One of the key factors here that you got to look out for is the fact that your Apex of Powers, you want to cast those at the end of this cycle because they exile the remainder of the cards that you don't need in your deck, and you need your deck to just be 2 Nexus of Fate. Little pro tip there. Alright, so now we get another turn. I'm going to go ahead and cast Overflowing Insight and draw some cards. So we're going to Circuitous Route, Guildgate, Forest, cast you, cast you, cast you, cast you, 5 mana, which is not enough to do too much here, but I can cast these Elfin Druids and stuff, and we're going to Treasure Map to Scry. Nexus of Fate is perfect, and then I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn. I wish these 2 cards were actually just in my hand. Now these are going to go away for the turn. We get Nexus of Fate, we're going to cast with Omniscience, we're going to draw 2 cards. We're going to Nexus of Fate, a Circuitous Route, get 2 more lands. We're going to Field of Ruin, and then we're going to Field of Ruin a couple things. We want to start thinning our deck at this point. Pretty much, I think we have almost every basic in the deck, but just in case. Okay, so we had 1 forest left. So there's no point in doing the second Field of Ruin. Bottom, I think. We just want to hit another Apex of Power. Pass the turn. Circuitous Route. So we're going to cast Circuitous Route and get nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Okay, so then that's the remainder of what's in our deck. We're going to go ahead and Treasure Map here to Scry. Nexus of Fate on top is perfect. We're going to go ahead and draw some cards with the Tezzeret, which means we're going to cast this Nexus of Fate, which means we're going to cast this. We're going to play this Guildgate, and then we're going to pass the turn and come back around again. Sack a treasure to draw a card. The late game, you have to kind of be... you have to navigate it in an interesting way to ensure that you don't fizzle. So we're going to draw cards off of the Tezzeret. And there's 2 Apex of Power, so that should just do it. So now we Apex of Power 1, add blue, And then we get to cast Nexus of Fate. I think we Apex of Power again, add blue, and then we cast both Nexus of Fates. I think we want to cast, yeah, so we cast Apex of Power number 2, add blue. That's the rest of our deck. So then we Nexus of Fate 1 with a bunch of mana, and then we Nexus of Fate again with some mana. There we go. We cast this last Llanowar Elves for fun. We cast these 2 treasure maps for fun. And hell, why not? Let's cast this Omniscience, because we can. I feel like if you can cast Omniscience and you don't, then you're just missing out on the fun of life. I'm not going to cast this because this will kill us, so that's bad. I don't care what he kills now at this point. I'm just trying to punch damage in. Okay, and then basically we start off every turn by casting a Nexus of Fate, create a Thopter, a Tezzy, and then we begin combat, and we attack with everything. Okay, and then we play this Nexus of Fate, and we get another token, and then we attack with everything. And it's actually a relatively fast clock once you get through your enough flyers going. It's also a like slow enough combo that it's really hard to misclick or do anything. I don't even know why. He's just wasting his time blocking at this point. And there we have it, ladies and gents. Peak standard. Alright, let's see if we can do it again. What was he playing again? Control? Alright, so Nezahal comes in. I gotta say, when this deck works, I feel like Thanos. You just control everything about the game. They can't do anything once that thing goes off. It's so fun. Legion Warboss. Okay. Block, and then, yeah, we're just dead to that. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. We do hit Omniscience. Ooh, we had 2 Apexes there, though. That's not good. Now we get to Circuitous Route, Nexus of Fate, Overflowing Insight. To pass the turn, Tezzeret is pretty good. On top, obviously, Forest. And actually, because now we can cast the Tezzeret with Omniscience, draw a card off the Tezzeret, which is going to be the Overflowing Insight, and draw 7 more cards. Then we go Nexus of Fate, Llanowar Elves. Now we have 2 counter spells in hand, so I don't see us losing here. Nexus of Fate, top, Overflowing Insight, myself, Nezahal. And we did it again, turn 7 this time. Should be game. I don't see us fizzling from this point on. We get a free scry at 3 different scries, I think, every turn. Bottom, we're just looking for the last Apex now, or just to keep chaining stuff. We get to draw cards off the Tezzeret, and we did it. Holy shit. Holy shit. Man, that feels good. I will say, to this deck's credit, because it's a steaming hunk, but when you win with it, there is no better feeling than going off with this deck in Standard. It feels so nice because it's like you have to solve a little puzzle in order to get to the end game. Oh man, for victory's sake, we're gonna crack open these 3 shitters here and see what's in them. Open one of these. Yes, open one. Vindicate. All right. Open one of these. Yes, open one. Some fucking other card. The best thing I've ever got off these is a Blackleaf Cliffs. Lightning Greaves. Cool. Alright. Man, I feel like I don't even want to keep playing this deck now that I've done that. I feel like a cigarette actually would be appropriate here. I'm going to take a break. Maybe come back to this tomorrow. Alright, we are back at it again. Picking it up against Will Tay or Won't Tay. Probably greedy. We're on the draw. If we draw another land, then we're in really good shape. Like, this whole hand is fantastic outside of the fact that it is missing a second land. We are dealing with mono red, which is going to be a tall order. Shocks the elves. That could be very bad for us. Could need a land here. That's really bad. Okay. Well, we're getting punished, and not in like a fun way, like how I usually like to be punished. That's what I would call a roundabout slap in the face, so we're just going to concede. This hand doesn't really do too much. It's got Overflowing Insight, but it's got lands, which is the main thing. No green mana. I didn't even notice they didn't have green mana. Well, this might bite me in the ass again. Green, please. Or a fiery cannonade. That'll buy us some time. That works. I'm just gonna pull the trigger now. We have 4 of them. Oh, they're pirates. I should read cards sometimes. Sometimes. Fuck. I took a little bit of time off again in between recording the last games and these games because I got sick. It's almost Christmas, or any number of festive holidays that people celebrate around this time of year. The solstice, for all you pagans out there. This deck is sort of a bad matchup for us, just because they get Assassin's Trophy, which can actually kill the Omniscience, and they're also pretty ridiculously fast at killing us. We die, I think, probably. We have 1 out here. Actually, we don't have an out because we need blue mana to cast it, so that's the game. So I found out recently that there's a tradition in Italy. So pistachios grow on trees. What you can do, actually, or what they do when they ripen, is they actually pop open. So you know the little kind of slit, I guess, in a pistachio. That's natural. When they ripen, they pop, and you can actually hear them pop if you go to like a pistachio orchard. And there's a tradition in Italy where people will go there on dates and they'll sit under pistachio trees to like around springtime or whenever it is they bloom, to hear the popping of the pistachios. And I heard that fact and I thought it was kind of nice, and because I there's no more romantic sound than busting nuts. So we're just gonna put everything to sleep for a turn and swing at Vivian. Is it just me, or does everybody have at least 1 Aunt Vivian? Or Aunt Vivian, I guess, if you're pretentious about it. Need, like, Circuitous Root would be great. Gilded Lotus would be great. 7, 8 damage in. We don't die from 1 swing unless he can explore, like, twice, I think. So I'm gonna let him swing out, hopefully play everything that's in his hand. Well, we need a land, and then Apex Power doesn't really do much, honestly. Because we don't have anything in hand to cast with the Omniscience once it gets down, even if we get it. Can I block enough things? No, I actually just lose. Okay. I'm doing 1 more because this deck just feels so good to play. And honestly, it's kind of addictive once you go off with it once. You're just like, oh man, I want to do that again. The deck is kind of like meth in that way, I suppose. Oh, we're getting the run back against Solgren. It appears that beating our deck is a lot like meth too. Who thought that this was a good card to print? I mean, my god, look at this clock. So if I get Circuitous Root off, then I just die on the swing. So I guess that's it. This seems okay. It's at least got early ramp. Okay, he just gives us a free win. I don't think he would have actually got beat down by 2 Llanowar Elves, but we take wins where we can get them. So I work in retail currently. There is this guy who comes in to our establishment, and we call him Soy Boy, the cereal vomiter. And I'll explain that in a minute, because you probably, when I said cereal vomiter, you were like, I don't understand what you mean. Because that doesn't sound like a thing a human being would do. But there's this guy, and he is a cereal vomiter, which means he comes into our store, and he will actually just vomit in the sink for whatever reason. I guess it's best if I describe the guy first. He's about 5'3", maybe, on a good day. He always wears a backpack, and when he comes into our store, he is always eating almonds out of a bag, and he also has a carton of soy milk, hence the name Soy Boy. And for whatever reason, he eats those objects, and then he heads into our bathroom, and he will vomit in the sink. We know it's him because the vomit is always just what looks to be the remains of soy and almonds. And it's always the same sink. It's the left sink. And a customer will inevitably come up and say, hey, I think somebody, for lack of a better term, shit in your sink. And then I go, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will have that dealt with, which just means that I'm going to go in there with gloves and sponge on a stick, and I'm just going to wash the vomit down the sink. Do I want him to play? Yeah, I want him to play Vivian Reed, because then if I draw a land, I can Omniscience and then Apex of Power. Please, God in heaven, if that exists. Show me one land. That's all I ask. One land would make my entire night. Gilded Lotus. Okay, I don't think that works. That's a bummer. Looks like vampire tokens, I guess. Anyway, I tell this story about Soy Boy to people, and they always say the same thing. Well, if you know who it is, why don't you just tell them not to do that? It's a hard thing to call somebody out for. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, hey, you can't use our bathroom because you keep puking in it and it's weird and I have to clean it up and it's gross and it makes me not want to work here anymore. Boros tokens. So land, Gilded Lotus, and I guess I'll just kick a grow from the ashes just for the shits and or giggles. And then now we should be able to block with the Elfim Druid on whatever thing he's going to attack with. We're not dead. Okay, so now we're dead. This guy's no fucking fun, dude. Why do you have to kill me so fast? Alright, fine. Enjoy it. I'm gonna just bring in a bunch of fiery cannonades. We're not gonna survive another turn. I'm so mad. I'm gonna keep playing until I fucking get it again. I feel like the further I go, the closer this gets to gambling, because I'm just like, this deck either performs or it doesn't. When it performs, I get a huge dopamine rush of just being able to do whatever I want in a Magic game in Standard. And when it doesn't, I just lose money. Is this the same deck? This is the same deck. Is this a deck? Is this an actual real deck? I thought the last guy was just memeing. Red, white, ascend tokens? I mean, I guess. This just doesn't feel like a real deck. I mean, it's obviously pretty decent because it's killing us kind of quick. It's a lot of damage. 4? How did that happen? Yeah, we're just dead, right? Okay. We're bringing in the whole suite, the whole anti-aggro suite right now. Fiery Cannonade, okay. So please no buff my dudes cards and then we're okay. Well, that's a buff my dudes cards. Oh, that's bad. Like, I just die if I don't do this, so I just die either way. Golly. We go again. It's green black again. Why did I tap like that? Tap like that for no reason. This sucks because he just gets to kill the treasure map for free. But I mean, he's not putting like a ton of pressure on us right now. Alright, so if we don't die here, which is very unlikely. Oh, he just needs to, I forget this thing grows, huh? That's alright. This would be great if it had green mana. This would be great if it had blue mana. Actually, it wouldn't be great, it would be okay. Oh, Lord, please give me like an overflowing insight or something that doesn't do anything to me. What more could you possibly take from me with that duress? Oh my god. I want to do it again. I want to feel the power. This is actually torture. Why am I doing this to myself? Oh my god. I just want to do it again. So fucking cold too in my room. I'm like currently wrapped up in like 5 blankets, a fur coat that happens to not be splattered in red paint because I'm good at evading people with buckets. I swear to God, if that fucking groundhog sees his shadow, I'm gonna shoot myself. I don't know why we don't just blindfold the groundhog. If it can control the weather, you know, just make it so it can't, or blind it. I guess the more humane way is the blindfold. I think it's pretty clear at this point that this deck isn't good.
Oh, you know a lot about cars, really? That must be why your Nissan Altima sounds like a goddamn pocket bike, stupid-ass bitch.
Also, I matched with this girl on Tinder and I added her on Snapchat and she posts the most unfunny posts I've ever had the displeasure of watching in my life. It's like annoying orange times 10. Rest in peace, headphone users. I probably blew out your speakers by saying those words in that order. No one even wants to play me anymore. Welcome back. You guys are watching Levi Thomas's slow descent into madness as he tries to recapture just a hint of the glory. Gotta kill some time before my next game starts. Oh, hey, there we go. Animal again. Another fucking black-green deck. Come on, brother. Second treasure map is probably overkill. Alright, I can handle 2 a turn. This is a reasonable clock for us to work through. We're so close. Oh my god, we're so close. Okay, I was really scared when he played green mana that he was going to play Vraska. I'm happy to take 3 damage here. I welcome it even. Vraska. Now it can't really do anything bad to me. Alright, well, Apex of Power, do your thing, please. Omni, please. Another Apex of Power and a Grow from the Ashes and Elfim Druid. Well, I guess that we will get green mana. Well, not necessarily here. I could just get blue mana. And then I could Overflowing Insight. This should draw us into Omni and some lands that we can play. We do find the Omniscience, 2 of them to be exact. We're not dead yet. We get 2 Nexus of Fates as soon as we stick the Omniscience too, which is good. Chupacabra, okay. Still not dead. We take 3. I don't know why he sacked his own guy to draw a card. That boggles my mind. Maybe he knows, you know? Maybe he knows what we're trying to accomplish here, and he just realizes that this is bigger than all of us. Well, the Omniscience is down. Now we can Treasure Cove to draw that Overflowing Insight. Treasure Map, draw a card, or scry a card. Top. Oh, we can City's Blessing to draw that. Draw a card. Overflowing Insight. Treasure Map. Scry. Pop. Alright. Tez for free. And then draw some cards. Apex of Power. I want to draw any more cards. We're going to add blue. And we're going to cast this Nexus of Fate. We're going to let that pass, and we're going to attack with our Llanowar Elves, and then that's it. We control every aspect of this game now. Boy, if my life was just doing this combo every day, it wouldn't be as unbearable. He sees the loop. Alright. All it took was for him to not have any green mana until turn 6. And we did it. That's right, I did it. I'm number 5. Who do you think you are? I am. It's like a mix with a graveyard deck or something? Why is Stitcher Supplier in there? Eldest Reborn? Okay, so he does have some, like, reanimation in here. Get Omniscience down next turn. If we draw a big draw spell, then we are feeling pretty good. 7 big draw spells in the deck. It's where, like, Arch of Araska is great, or a Treasure Map would be good. You can just start blocking pretty freely here. Eats the Chupacabra. Again, I don't see his methods here. Maybe he's trying to ultimate this. Yeah, he's trying to ultimate Vraska, which is so strange. He could just kill the Llanowar Elves and put me on a 2-turn clock. Pretty much a guaranteed, like, I need to draw something. I just don't see the point. Alright, show me something good. Well, free Tezzeret. Get a draw. Show me something good. That's not good enough. Alright. That was just one of those rare instances where you just had not the right combination of gems for the glove. It's actually shaping up to be a rather quick Omniscience into Apex. Go to sleep. And we are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, so we just need 1 more land. And then we get to go Omniscience into Apex. Hoping that he taps out for something. He does. He opts to sack something. Smart move probably would have been just to kill my Llanowar Elves and put me off for another turn, but I don't think he knows what's about to happen. Well then, I think it's time. Omniscience. Apex cast from the hand, and mana. I get blue. Overflowing Insight on myself. Another Overflowing Insight on myself. I guess I get Tez out. Could just Apex of Power here again, although I think I just want to go to the next turn to start the clock. Oh, he just gives up. We did it. We actually won with the fucking deck. Holy shit. We won, guys. We won with this. Look at this. This is what we won with. Holy moly. Well, anyways, we're back with the deck. And that was a trial. The only thing I can say is that I wish that this was printed in standard so that we could try and knock this out, so that it could be a true Thanos glove deck. But all things considered, I mean, when you really look at it, all of the gems are here, right? I mean, we have the power gem, the reality gem, the mind gem, time gem, soul gem. I guess these are kind of like the space gem, because anything that's in the way you can just be like, "Bleh, you're gone." I have to say, as a challenge, the deck is pretty fun, honestly, because when you get to go off, there's just no other feeling quite like it. It's cheap as well, which I guess is one upside. I'm sure there's some tweaking that could be made to the deck. I'm not going to be the one to do it. Who knows? Maybe at some point I'll run some sort of modern version of this, but that probably will not be for a long, long while. I want to thank you all for watching. I hate card games.